Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing Spirit of Life, number 123 in the gray hymnal, or you can follow on the screen. Spirit of life, come unto me, sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion, blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice, roots hold me close, wings set me free, Spirit of life, come to me, come to me, Spirit of life, come unto me, sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion, blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice, roots hold me close, wings set me free, Spirit of life, come to me, Spirit of life, come unto me, sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion, blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice, roots hold me close, wings set me free, Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Salem. So, Lorianne, can we turn to a camera and say hello? Okay, let's all turn towards the east and wave hello to our friends who are going to watch us later as a recording on YouTube, like we used to do back in, 22, 23, something like that. And if you haven't had a chance, stop and say hello to the person near you. You might have to shout out for a second, because I know a couple of you are far away. Cool. Nice. Hi, Teresa. I'll say hi to you. All right. Let's gather back. Today is a special day as we celebrate our human experience on this blue globe of ours and how we have held the sanctity of life and the creation of life throughout millennia. I'm Sara, your homilist for the day, and I would love it if you would join me in welcoming Ariana Kirkpatrick back as celebrant after spending 6 years up in Washington taking care of her grandkids. If you didn't know her, when she and her husband Brian, over here, were here before, you've certainly heard her this summer through her wonderful rendition of the Time for All Ages stories. So, welcome back, Ariana. And let's begin.
For the beauty of this spinning ball, blue-green ball, Gaia, mother of everything, we walk gently across your back to come together again in this place, to remember how we can live, to create how we will be. Gaia, our home, the lap in which we live, welcomes us. Please join me in confirming our affirmation. Love is our doctrine. Compassion is our way. Here we seek to create a joyful home for free religious exploration, build a community of caring fellowship, nurture the hopes, and serve the needs of our world. We light our chalices for the web of life that joins us to each other, regardless of who we are or where we come from. We light our chalices for the sacred circle of life, for the earth, the sky, the air, and the waters above and below, for our Mother Earth and all life upon her. We light our chalices for all who are here today and for all who are not. We light our chalices for all who have come through our doors into this special place and for all who have yet to come. We light our chalices for each of us at UUCS, for all those we know we have met and those we have yet to meet. We light a chalice to honor the past, our connection to our sister church in Šimenfalva, Transylvania, Romania. And we light a lantern to shine for the youth and the young at heart, both here at UUCS and all around the world, and for all who seek knowledge, truth, and understanding. May the light from these chalices bring love, justice, and light to our world. Let's sing our flames to life.
We're going to do Time for All Ages. We're going to do it a little differently today, and so this is why Molly is not up here saying this. I am. We are going to start Time for All Ages by having the children, 2 on each side, pass you baskets. And from the basket, you're going to take an item that speaks to you. This may speak to you personally, it may speak to your heritage, your background, it may speak to a connection that you have with Earth. And while they do that, and then they're going to come up to the front of the sanctuary here, David's going to play a little music while we do that. And I'll tell you the next step. right. This is why Ariana is here as a celibate. She's reminding me a little bit of information. Yes, hang on to your item, because later after the message, you will be bringing your item up to the altar of appreciation, and that will be explained later. So sorry. Yes. So take an item, hold on to it, play with it in your hands. Notice its texture, its how it looks, how it feels, what it reminds you of. I think we're still going. We're about halfway through. All right. So now all the kids need to come up here. After they're done, you can give the baskets to Ariana. And then anyone else that wants to join us or is young at heart, come. So good. We have 2 more baskets. Okay, it's all good. All right, next. Okay, so unfortunately you have to stand up again. All right, now, grab something from this basket and just hold on to it for 1 second. Okay, does everybody have something? Yeah, did you have something? Perfect. All righty. So now look at what you have. Hold it in your hand. What does that mean to you? Why is that important to you? Why do you like that? Do you have an idea in your head why you picked your item? Yeah? Okay. Now we're going to release that item. Not over here. We're going to put it on the altar over here by Ariana. Go ahead and put it on. Anywhere you like. Oh, sorry. So you notice that the kids are showing us adults what we will be doing in a little while later? So pay attention. And then after you're done, come back here to the center and remain standing, because we're all going to do something together. That's beautiful. Yeah, put the shell down where it should go. Perfect. Oh, nice. I like it right there. Nice. All right, let's come to the center. Now, if everybody will rise in body or spirit, that means you adults. Together, we are going to do the 4 directions prayer. Are we ready? We're going to face the east. I had to think what direction that was, but apparently it's this direction. Spirit of the east, spirit of air, of morning and springtime, be with us as the sun rises in times of beginning, times of planting. Inspire us with the fresh breath of courage as we go forth into the new adventures. And now take a little bow. Nice. Now go ahead and turn to the south. I am going to that other direction, Tom. Tom, face me. I'm going to face you because you may not. Well, actually, I could face this with my handheld mic, can't I? Very nice. Spirit of the south, spirit of fire, of noontime and summer, be with us through the heat of the day and help us to be ever growing. Warm us with strength and energy for the work that awaits us. Take a little bow. Nice. Now let's turn to the west. Spirit of the west, spirit of water, of evening and autumn, be with us as the sun sets and helps us to enrich a rich harvest. Flow through us with a cooling, healing quietness and bring us peace. A little bow. Nice. Now let's turn to the north. Spirit of the north, spirit of earth, of nighttime and winter, be with us in the darkness in time of gestation. Take a little bow. Thank you. You may be seated. Come around. I think that Molly would appreciate if the kids sat down for 1 second while she gave a couple of announcements.
Hello. Just a couple of announcements for you today. Salem Pride is coming up the 21st. It starts at 11 and goes until 6, and the LRE team will be there and part of UUCS, and we'll be there all day at our own booth. So if you want to come stop by, we'll be doing face paint. The youth group will be there doing face paint for the community. It's going to be a really good time. And then we have another Parents' Night Out coming up on the 27th, it's a Friday, from 6 to 9 p.m. And if you'd like more details, you can email me or just come find me in the back there at the office. Okay? All right. Now, if you can stand up in the middle and make the love arch, we'll be on our way. Thanks.
Wherever you walk, walk in love. Wherever you walk, walk in peace. Wherever you walk, walk in beauty all around you. Our hearts go with you. Wherever you walk, walk in love. Wherever you walk, walk in peace. Wherever you walk, walk in beauty all around you. Our hearts go with you.
Ariana, can you please light a candle for us for our compassion as we think of those in Romania and Central Europe who are dealing with the flood, and for all those locally who need help finding their basic needs. And then may you light a candle of gratitude, gratitude for the beautiful weather, gratitude for our friends and new friends here among us, gratitude for all we do in this congregation. Blessed be.
Good morning. I'm Eric Schumann, your Lifeline's lay minister for this morning. We have a few joys that I'm going to share, and I'm going to share them because there were so many sad sorrows. I just wanted to have something uplifting and something to feel good about this morning. The first was all the children that we saw up here, more than we've had since the last church season. And there was one girl who was over here. She had lavender shorts on. She was probably a middle schooler. She quietly, on her own, during the time for all ages, came up and quietly lit a candle. And I feel joy for her. I'm joyful because of music, because of the contributions of Marcia Christensen and David Yekel this morning. And I'm especially joyful for the hymn, Spirit of Life. That means so much to me because of the fact that in 1982 at a General Assembly, I had the pleasure of spending a week with its author, Carolyn McDade, a magnificent woman who lived in a women's collective and who was associated with our denomination for many years. And I think of her with great fondness and reverence, and I hope she's doing well. My last joy is for Ricky, who is our therapy dog, who's going to be with us in the fellowship hall right after the service. The first sorrow is from John Schinberg. This week, my longtime friend, mentor, and kindergarten classmate passed. Kathy Finkel was an inspiring and insightful middle school teacher for many years at Judson Middle School. She and her husband, Bob, retired from the Salem-Keizer School District to teach in a hospitality training program in Uganda for some years before her cancer diagnosis forced them back to the U.S. for the advanced treatments that she needed. Join me in sending light, love, and peace to Bob and their daughters, Kelsey and Emily. Annie Jocelyn shared that our own Marcia Christensen will be undergoing a kidney procedure later this week. And we're hoping that this second procedure is going to be successful, so please keep Marcia, who brings us such wonderful music, in your thoughts. The one that was most difficult for me to read this morning was shared by Sara Pickett. Our longtime member and friend, Bonnie Hummel, died last week. She was a member of this congregation for many, many years. She was active in the Women's Alliance. She was a member of the Zen Center. She was living at Avamere on Sunnyside. Those of us in Lifelines visited her regularly. I visited with Ricky. Carrie Lynn was probably the one who was closest to her and visited most often, and I am thankful for that as well. Lastly, one more candle for those joys and sorrows that remain unspoken in our hearts.
So let's start our journey together. Let's start with a quote from Houston Smith, author of World's Religions. If we take the world's enduring religions at their best, we discover the distilled wisdom of the human race. Today, we are going to hear from some of the wisdom from around the world and see how it meshes with your own. These stories that we will visit come from many sources, and we thank the great storyteller of our age, the internet, for connecting us with so many sages of the past. Let us start with a story close to home. There are many stories of creation of what we call the Pacific Northwest and the original people that call this home. Here is one of those stories.
Kamush is a creator god, and the Klamath people originally lived in Oregon around the upper Klamath Lake and along the Klamath, Sprague, and Williamson rivers. This is how Kamush created the world. In the time that was, Kamush, old man of the ancients, slept in Yansi, lodge of the north wind. Hard had been his work. Kamush had made the world. He had sprung quickly from the ashes of the northern lights and made the world at the call of the morning star. At first, Kela, the earth, had been flat and bare. Then Kamush planted in the valleys the grass and camas roots, iba and ipa roots. On Molakisi, steepness, he had set Kapka, the pine, Waka, the white pine, and Katlo, the juniper. On the rivers and lakes, Kamush placed Wex, the mallard, and Waiwash, the white goose, and Mushmush, the white-tailed deer, Wan, the red fox, and Ketchkatch, the little gray fox who ran through the forest. Koel, the mountain sheep, and Luck, the grizzly bear, Kamush set on Ktakiti, place of rocks. So Kamush made the earth, and all the earth was new, except Shapskaskeni, the rock where was built the lodge of sun and moon. So Kamush slept while the day was young. Then came Wanaka, the sun halo, and called the sleeping one, old man of the ancients, and Kamush rose from the door of the lodge. Together they followed the trail of Shell, the sun, until they reached the edge of the dark. But Maidu the Indian was not yet created. Then Kamush with his daughter Evening Star went to the place of the dark, to the lodges of Muntankani, 5 nights in a great circle about a vast fire. They danced with the spirits of the dark. The spirits were without number, like the leaves on the trees. But when Shell called to the world, the spirits became dry bones. On the 5th day, when the sun was new, Kamush rose and put the dry bones into a sack, and he followed the trail of Shell to the edge of the world. And as he did, he threw away the bones. He threw them away 2 by 2. To Katiti, place of steepness, he threw 2. To Kayani Shakis, the crawfish trail. To Maleski, steepness of snow. And to Kakasam Yama, mountain of the great blue heron. To each he threw 2 bones. And thus people were created. The dry bones became Maidu the Indian, Akspala, the people of the chipmunks, and last of all, Maklaks, the Klamath Indian. Then Kamush followed the trail of Shell, the sun, climbing higher and higher. At the top of the trail, he built his lodge. He lives still, Kamush, old man of the ancients, with his daughter, the Evening Star, and Wanaka, the sun halo.
Now we will travel the world heading west and touching on but a few of these creation tales. The first is the Australian Aborigine creation myth. There was a time when everything was still. All the spirits of the earth were asleep, or almost all. The great Father of all spirits was the only one awake. Gently he awoke the Sun Mother. As she opened her eyes, a warm ray of light spread out towards the sleeping earth. The Father of all spirits said to the Sun Mother, "Mother, I have work for you. Go down to the earth and awake the sleeping spirits. Give them forms." The Sun Mother glided down to the earth, which was bare at the time, and began to walk in all directions. And everywhere she walked, plants grew. After returning to the field where she had begun her work, the mother rested, well pleased with herself. The Father of all spirits came and saw her work, but instructed her to go into the caves and wake the spirits. This time she ventured into the dark caves on the mountainsides. The bright light that radiated from her awoke the spirits, and after she left, insects of all kinds flew out of the caves. The Sun Mother sat down and watched the glorious sight of her insects mingling with her flowers. However, once again the Father urged her on. The mother ventured into a very deep cave, spreading her light around her. Her heat melted the ice, and the rivers and streams of the world were created. Then she created fish and small snakes, lizards and frogs. Next, she awoke the spirits of the birds and animals, and they burst forth into a sunshine in the glorious array of colors. Seeing this, the Father of all spirits was pleased with the Sun Mother's work. She called all her creatures to her and instructed them to enjoy the wealth of the earth and to live peacefully with one another. Then she rose into the sky and became the sun. The living creatures watched the sun in awe as she crept across the sky towards the west. However, when she finally sunk beneath the horizon, they were panic-stricken, thinking she had deserted them. All night they stood frozen in their places, thinking that the end of time had come. After what seemed like a lifetime to them, the Sun Mother peeked her head above the horizon in the east. The Earth's children learned to expect her coming and going and were no longer afraid. At first, the children lived together peacefully, but eventually envy crept into their hearts. They began to argue. The Sun Mother was forced to come down from her home in the sky to mediate their bickering. She gave each creature the power to change their form to whatever they chose. However, she was not pleased with the end result. The rats she had made had changed into bats. There were giant lizards and fish with blue tongues and feet. However, the oddest of the new animals was an animal with a bill like a duck, teeth for chewing, a tail like a beaver's, and the ability to lay an egg. It was called the platypus. The Sun Mother looked down upon the earth and thought to herself that she must create new creatures, lest the Father of all spirits be angered by what she now saw. She gave birth to 2 children. The god was the morning star, and the goddess the moon. 2 children were born to them, and these she sent to earth. They became our ancestors. She made them superior to the animals because they had part of her mind, and would never want to change their shape.
We continue our journey west and north and land in mainland China. This Chinese origin story, Pangu and the egg of the world. This original story comes from the Chinese culture and was first written down about 1,760 years ago, roughly between 220 and 265 in the Common Era. Yet it must have been told orally long before that. In the beginning was a huge egg containing chaos, a mixture of yin and yang, male, female, aggressive, passive, cold, hot, dark, light, and wet, dry. Within this yin and yang was Pangu, who broke forth from the egg as the giant who separated chaos into the many opposites, including earth and sky. Pangu stood in the middle, his head touching the sky, his feet planted upon the earth. The heavens and the earth began to grow at a rate of 10 feet a day, and Pangu grew along with them. After another 18,000 years, the sky was higher and the earth was thicker, and Pangu stood between them like a pillar, 30,000 miles in height, so they would never join again. When Pangu died, his skull became the top of the sky, his breath became the wind in the clouds, his voice the rolling thunder. One eye became the sun, and the other the moon. His body and limbs turned into 5 big mountains, and his blood formed the roaring water. His veins became roads, and his muscles turned to fertile land. The innumerable stars in the sky became his hair and beard, came from his hair and beard, and flowers and trees from his skin. His marrow turned to jade and pearls, and his sweat flowed like the good rain and sweet dew that nurtures all things on earth. Some people say that the fleas and the lice on his body became the ancestors of humanity. Continuing west, we find ourselves in India, an ancient and rich culture. And from their Hindu religion, we hear in Hinduism, the universe is millions of years old. In line with the Hindu belief in reincarnation, the universe we live in is not the first, or indeed the last universe. For Hindus, the universe was created by Brahma, the creator who made the universe out of himself. After Brahma created the world, it is the power of Vishnu which preserves the world and human beings. As part of the cycle of birth, life, and death, it is Shiva who will ultimately destroy the universe. This is not necessarily as bad as it might sound because it allows Brahma to start the process of creation all over again. Examples of how the origins of the universe are explained in Hinduism include a lotus flower, which grew from Lord Vishnu's navel with Brahma sitting on it. Brahma separated the flower into 3 parts, the heavens, the earth, and the sky. Out of loneliness, Brahma split himself into 2 to create a male and a female. And from this male and female, all beings were created. And another story makes reference to life coming from the cracking of an enormous egg, which is the life from which the universe was born.
Continuing west, we find ourselves in the great expanse of the African continent. Here is one of their many tales of creation. The African Bushman creation myth. People did not always live on the surface of the earth. At one time, people and animals lived together underneath the earth, where Khan, the great master and lord of all life. In this place, people and animals lived together peacefully. They understood each other. No one ever wanted for anything, and it was always light, even though there wasn't any sun. During this time of bliss, Khan began to plan the wonders he would put into the world above. First, Khan created a wondrous tree with branches stretching over the entire country. At the base of the tree, he dug a hole that reached all the way down into the world where the people and animals lived. After he had finished furnishing the world as he pleased, he led the first man up the hole. He sat down on the edge of the hole, and soon the first woman came out of it. Soon all the people were gathered at the foot of the tree, awed by the world they had just entered. Next, Khan began helping the animals climb out of the hole. In their eagerness, some of the animals found a way to climb up through the tree's roots and come out of the branches. They continued racing out of the world beneath until all of the animals were out. Khan gathered all the people and animals about him. He instructed them to live together peacefully. Then he turned to the men and women and warned them not to build any fires, or great evil would befall them. They gave their word, and Khan left where he could watch his world secretly. As evening approached, the sun began to sink beneath the horizon. The people and animals stood watching this phenomenon, but when the sun disappeared, fear entered the hearts of the people. They could no longer see each other, as they lacked the eyes of the animals which were capable of seeing in the dark. They lacked the warm fur of the animals also, and soon grew cold. In desperation, one man suggested they build a fire to keep warm. Forgetting Khan's warning, they disobeyed him. They soon grew warm and were once again able to see each other. However, the fire frightened the animals. They fled to the caves, the mountains, and ever since the people broke Khan's command, people have not been able to communicate with animals. Now fear has replaced the seat friendship once held between the two groups.
And moving north from Africa, we come across what we now think of as the Middle East. And from it comes a creation story many of us are familiar with. The Hebrew Christian creation myth. And here is a condensed version from the Bible, the book of Genesis. In the beginning, God created the heavens and earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And the expanse called the sky was made and separated from the water. And then he created the land and sea and animals and stars and sun and moon. And then in the image of God, he created male and female. And God blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful and increase in number," which we've done. "Fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air and over every living creature that moves on the ground." Don't know if I agree with that one. By the seventh day, God had finished the work he had been doing, and he rested. Now there is more, but we're going to stop right there with this creation myth at the moment and continue moving north into Western Europe. And I have a condensed version of a Celtic creation myth. In this myth, in the beginning, there was no time, no gods, and no people, but there was the sea, and it met the land. And where that happened, there was a white mare made of sea foam who was born, called Shoah. Eventually, she gave birth to the god Cernunnos, And together they then created more gods. Mapanos, the god of youth, Taranis, the god of thunder, Tetates, the protector, and the fertility goddess Epona. But when the gods and goddesses were grown up, Ishoa left the land to return to her life as a sea mare and became known as Tethra, goddess of the deep. The gods and goddesses then created a man, a woman, and the animals from the bark of the oak tree that grew on the land. But this provoked the sea giants, who fought a war with the gods. The paradise they had created was destroyed, but eventually the sea giants were beaten, and Epona managed to save just one man and one woman who went on to create all human life. And moving back over to the New World, we pause in South America to hear a short Peruvian creation story. According to the Inca religion, the world was created by Virchoa, the creator, when he rose out of Lake Titicaca to bring light to the darkness. He then had a son and 2 daughters. His son was Inti, the sun god. His daughters were Mamakila, the moon, and Pachamama, the earth.
Let's now continue going north, back into North America and back here to Salem, Oregon. We have heard many creation stories, and as Unitarian Universalists, we need to hear one more, the one that comes during our lifetime, the Big Bang Theory. The Big Bang Theory is a scientific approach to answering the question of how the world began. In answering this question, the Big Bang Theory removes the need for a creator. Put simply, the theory states that about 14 billion years ago, all matter and energy in the universe was at a point of infinite density and temperature. It then expanded rapidly. Eventually, stars, galaxies, and planets formed. This expansion was the beginning of time and continues to this day. The Big Bang Theory is supported by evidence that space is expanding, including the redshift of light from distant galaxies and the existence of cosmic background radiation in all directions. It is thought planet Earth was formed 4.6 billion years ago from dust and gas left after the sun formed. As Earth gradually cooled, creating conditions in which life was possible, living things appeared. Some say that one cannot hold both evolution and true creation theories at the same time. However, on the UUA website, dated January 21st, 2015, it states about evolution that Unitarian and Universalists engaged in such a dialogue over a century ago, and it enabled our forefathers to embrace reason and scientific inquiry embodied in this theory of evolution, without denying the wonder and power of their faith in God and in the dignity of humankind. We started with Houston Smith, so let us end with him. We cannot know. All we can do is listen carefully with full attention to each voice in turn as it addresses the divine. As Unitarian Universalists, we can hold all that we have heard today in our hearts and minds because of the values we share, including a pluralistic view that we are all sacred beings, diverse in our cultures and experiences, as well as interdependent between ourselves and the great web of life, and that we all seek transformation in our lives. May we continue to wonder and appreciate the experience of awe that occur in our daily lives. And now, let's take a moment to remember our own unique life experiences, cultural background, our familial, as well as our spiritual ancestors, as well as the ancestry of humankind and our connection with all life, including this earth. As the music plays, please bring forward your item that you have picked or that you have brought that represents something of importance to you, and place it on our appreciation altar. You can please come forward to the center of the aisle and then move to the table. As you place it, send a special thought or blessing to the universe. Let's begin.
Thank you, everyone. Take a moment, take a breath in, and breathe out. The bridge between our realms is closed, and we are filled with love, honor, and remembrances. We know you, our ancestors, both recent and long past, watch over us always protecting us and guiding us in ways we may not truly ever comprehend. We thank you for your sacrifices and for your love. We remember that which is remembered never dies. You are gone, but not forgotten. We are blessed to have known those we know and to be descended from those we do not know, and to give unconditional love to all. We remember. Hail and farewell. This place, and so many places like ours across the country, depend on the support of its members, friends, and community to sustain it and allow it to grow. We are so very grateful for the love and support we receive from all of you, both with the time you give and the bounty you share. Each month, we share our plate with organizations that we feel help to exemplify our principles and our values. We share with the Marion Polk Food Bank and offer them assistance by providing goods and monies to help sustain those who may not have as much as we have. In September, we are sharing our plate with Home Youth Services. They connect services with the youth where they are at and positively impact their lives and empower them for success. Now, if you would like to donate to this place and to our community partner, you may give to the bags that will be passed here in our sanctuary, online from our website, or scanning the code in the order of service, placing donations in our wagon before, during, or even after the service, and by designating your donation to the community partner. Thank you. Thank you for the generosity you share and the many hours you spend giving, both to our community and to this place.
Alrighty, so it's the third Sunday of the month. I cannot believe it, but it is. That's what the calendar says. And so we have the board forum. And today what the board would like to chat with you about, if you care to join us, is actually about Reverend Monica a little bit, who is going to be joining us in November. She sent a welcoming video, which our communications team has put onto the YouTube channel, is what I'm trying to say. And if you can get to it that way, some of you have probably already seen it. However, due to our lovely production team, we're going to show it here as well. So I hope that you come and see it, and then ask, and then we can just chat about her, answer any questions you have, or anything else you would like to ask the board. So, hope to see you around 12 o'clock, or thereabouts. We will let you know when we start. Next Sunday, we have James Schmidt, a UUCS member, and, if I may say, son of Lorianne Schmidt, who has spoken to us before, and he gets to speak to us again. And this is a joy and a sorrow because he is going on in his journey up north to an area called around Seattle. I've heard that there's this space up north with water and coffee and chocolate. And he's going to go up there for some reason. He can let us know. So he is going to talk next week about helping the concept and idea of building safe spaces and where people feel safe and loved. It should be very interesting. He's in the back. Wave, James. There we are. Yay. Cool beans. All righty. And that is, I think, it. Be sure and either sign the welcome book if you don't have access to our newsletter or Friday e-blast, or contact the office, or get somebody to forward it to you. However you can get the news of what's going on in the congregation and church, it'd be marvelous. Thank you so much.
And as we take the flame from our chalice and light our social justice lantern, please be mindful of how each of us promotes the values we share and the justice we seek for everyone, regardless of who, what, or where they may be. Do something good. Make good trouble. And as we bid farewell to the flames of our chalices, hold on to the light and let it shine on through each day and night, whether you're in this place or another. May we take the light with us, and may its smoke rise to send our blessings across the universe. Blessed be.
Please rise, embody your spirit, and let's join in boisterously singing Let It Be a Dance, number 311, or on the board. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you. Through good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with singing birds. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the need. To reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you. Through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn and spin. Let your body learn to bend. And like a willow with the wind. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. A child is born, the old must die. A time for joy, a time to cry. Take it as it passes by. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Morning star comes out at night. Without the dark there is no light. If nothing's wrong, then nothing's right. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. And round and round we go again. Let it be a dance.
Thank you so much for the beautiful music from that part of the room. As a community, may we connect even while apart. Let justice burn in our lives, and may we carry compassion and devotion to the truth with us wherever we go. Please join hands and or hearts in our closing words. May faith in the spirit of life, hope for the community of earth, and love for the sacred in one another be ours now and in all the days to come. Blessed be. Yes. Hi, Guy. It was in the December of 2017 that we had. We left and went to Kennewick. 6 years there. It was wonderful. Well, I don't necessarily love it up there, but I love the grandchildren that she was 3 months old when we got there, and we left when she was 6. Oh yes, I was